Rage of Aquarius with your hosts Dan Smeriglio and Josh Bernstein.
Good evening to everybody all around the world, or good afternoon, good morning, or anything in between. This is the Rage of Aquarius with myself, Dan Smeriglio, and of course, Mr. Josh Bernstein, coming to you live on the Voice of the People USA Radio and Television Network. If you have the app, you might have seen that I tested my chops at sending out a push notification. It was the first time I've ever done this. It was very techy and advanced, and I'm just not that bright. But I figured it out. So now you know what that was. I mean, you obviously could read it yourselves. But yes, everybody, if you have the ability, download the app. Just type in VOP into Google or iOS crap, and you could download our app and watch these shows live. And of course, on the website, VOPUSARadio.com, and to our audio audience listening all around the world, howdy. And to everybody who's been watching the show, quite a bit of numbers. So thank you as always. Appreciate you. With that, let's get to it. Josh, what's up, man?
Oh, man. You know, all I can say is I hope people aren't freezing to death. It's amazing. Whether it's Greenland, whether it's ice agents, or whether it's actual ice storms, you guys cannot escape ice. It's right. Amazing. It's throughout the entire country. I love it. More ice. We need more ice, right?
I agree.
But no, seriously, I hope people are safe. I hope their heat is on. I hope their power is on. They said that there was somewhere like over 100,000 or maybe even more than that people that have lost power. So again, thoughts and prayers to those folks, and hopefully they're okay.
Yeah, and of course, I'm coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, and in the middle of Snowmageddon. I will say that it was a bit, I had to laugh a little bit, like, oh my God, a snowstorm's coming in the wintertime. Oh my God. Oh God, no, not a snowstorm. Now to the people in Texas and everything else, I get it. But, it's, come on. It's
well, I was out walking the dogs at 62 degrees in a t-shirt and shorts, so I apologize.
I love this. I want more snow. So that's all I'm saying. I love it. But anyway, so, I want to start off where we've started off kind of the last two episodes because, I mean, hey, every week, why not? And I'll keep it short and sweet. Another dead paid agitator who we're supposed to feel sorry for. Oh, he was such a good person trying to help a woman up and just so happened to brandish a weapon, and he got shot dead by ICE. Again, as always, one less white liberal idiot in the world. So rest in hell.
Yeah, look, I think... that gun in particular, 6 Hour, that type of gun has had numerous lawsuits against it where it would drop and it would shoot somebody or things like that. Like, it's really one of those kind of like techie kind of guns that really people have had lots of accidents with, people shooting themselves in the nuts and all this other crazy stuff. And so the person saw that gun immediately, and then he said, gun, there's a gun. And we can't really tell from the video whether the gun was thrown or something moved out of place. But I mean, look, they lit him up for a reason. And it's probably because you went to a peaceful protest with a handgun. And so you would have been alive if you didn't do that, right? So, whatever.
Honestly, well, he was helping a woman up who was knocked over. You were impeding on an active law enforcement scene. So yet again, and again, this is a newsflash to all you white liberals out there, because you're not seeing blacks out there, you're not seeing Hispanics out there, you're seeing white liberals out there, as always. And of course, now the playbook, I guess, was revealed by O'Keefe and all them. They had this whole thing, and Cam Higbee put out the whole,
oh my goodness, yeah,
right, the rule book.
This goes straight up to Tampon Timmy Walls.
That's right. So what we've always said for years, we don't say it because it's inaccurate. We say it because it's true. These literally are paid people to be there to cause disruption, but they're happy when you die because you're fulfilling your part of the narrative, okay? And the only difference is it's not working. When we hear about you getting shot and killed, I'm sorry, and maybe I'm more cold and callous. I don't shed a tear. I don't care. I just think one less moron in the world, and that's it. So I hope that the warning that Trump, not even a warning, he was relatively nice about it, what he just posted not that long ago. I hope that's the final warning to these individuals. And I want the Insurrection Act. I want it everywhere. I think that the country should abide by what the sheriff of Clark County in Florida, I believe it was Clark County, what he said. He put out his little press conference this morning. Like he said, if you spit on a police officer, you're going to go to the hospital and then you're going to go to jail. If you throw anything or attack a police officer, your family will be notified where to pick up the body. All these things, these are common sense things. So give us the Insurrection Act. Give us that final piece, because it's going to require it. And again,
sadly,
notice the difference. Are you seeing this happening in Florida? Are you seeing this happening in, hell, even Pennsylvania? Are you seeing it happen here in Ohio? Are you seeing it? No. And believe me, we have our problems. We have a lot of Somalis and Haitians and all that other crap in Ohio and other states. But, right, wrong, or indifferent, in conservative states or states where they folded quickly, like in Tennessee, notably Memphis and things of that nature, when they learn to just comply, we don't see anything happening.
Exactly. And here's another part of this. This Ice Watch thing, right, that Renee Bad was part of, and maybe this guy was part of, but Cam Higbee actually went and infiltrated all this, and he found out that one of the people that was really close to Tampon Tiananmen Square Timmy Conway, because he looks like Tim Conway for the people. I'm dating myself there. Looks just like him if he had a twin brother. Anyway, it went all the way up to him. So he knew about all of this. And quite frankly, this person worked for him as a strategist. And they were one of the admins in this group. So my next question is this. If they're running license plates, doesn't that tell you that the DMV in Minneapolis is also part of this?
Yep.
And what about the police? What about the Minneapolis police that apparently they were told to stand down? But a lot of them, including this idiot chief, said that regardless of what happened, they're terrorizing the people. No, you moron. And you're right. If you go to Memphis, you go to Louisiana, you go to any one of these other states, the police work with ICE and ICE enforcement, and you're not hearing about people being shot and killed. So this is a coordinated effort. It is something that has deep, deep ties to the Democrats in Minnesota, the governor in Minnesota, the attorney general, we know for a fact, is all over it. It's got his fingerprints all over it. And then, of course, bringing these people in. And again, who is responsible for shooting this guy? I'll tell you. Democrats.
Yep.
Because you're the ones that brought in all of these illegal aliens, 30 million of them in the auto pen years. What did you expect? And to Republicans out there, there was some kind of bullshit poll that said that 1 out of 5 Trump voters from 2024 think that it's too aggressive. You know what I say to you folks? Go shove it up your ass, because you don't get to complain about how it's being conducted. You voted for the man because he promised you something. He said point blank, I will do the largest deportation in U.S. history. And everybody said, great, that's what we want. We're tired of illegal aliens murdering people in the streets, killing women, raping people, all these other things. Great, we're going to vote for you, and we want you to do what you're supposed to do. Now you're doing it, and all of a sudden you don't like the tactics? Go screw yourselves, okay? Stop whining. Here's your little piece of cheese and wine. Get your ass together and vote for Republicans and support Republicans. Because if you don't, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse in communism.
Amen. No, to the softcore pussy fake Republicans that out there, and notably, I hate to say this, but I've said this for years on my Politishock show. Some of the worst ones, the worst offenders, are the Christian ones. And, me being somebody who loves God, everything else, but they're the first ones to say, well, my values don't align with, or I'm praying for it. Well, you could try to pray away the evil until it comes to your door and kills or rapes your wife and kills your family and everything else. So save me your BS, save me your holier than thou crap. No, you're pathetic, you're weak, and you're outnumbered. This was voted for en masse. This was voted for by Black, Hispanic, and everything in between. Okay, so we are getting what was promised to us, like you said, and I do not want it to stop until every single one, and like Trump just said on his True Social post, every illegal in prison, turn them over to ICE, get them out of our country.
Exactly.
Every illegal that's being, resided, employed, whatever, get them all out. I do not care. I want every last one gone. I don't care if it's a 1-month-old baby born to an illegal alien. Go. I want you all gone. This country needs an enema, and it also needs an enema. And Trump said again, he said it in Davos, and we're going to talk about that, I'm sure, about justice is coming for 2020 and the perpetrators behind that. And I say it can't come soon enough, because I want the governors, I want Hakeem Jeffries, I want what's his face, the other guy, Keith Ellison in Minnesota. All these people, I want them held accountable. And also this goes to Republican elected officials as well, who are just as bad. Arrest them, charge them, harboring, aiding and abetting, acts of treason, whatever it may be, sedition, all of it. We will not stop and not be satisfied until every single illegal alien is gone. And I love the fact that we're not talking about how Trump hates Mexicans anymore. Well, now it's the poor Somalis. Oh, the poor Somalis. Yeah. Some of us have said for me almost 2 decades that if I say illegal, you say I hate Mexicans. If you think it's just Mexicans, then you have no idea what you're talking about. And What we are seeing is justice, a purging, and it cannot stop anytime soon, and it can never go too far until every last one is gone.
Well, here's a strategy tip, okay? And this is for Republicans if they get a chance to see this, the president, whoever it might be, cabinet members. Bottom line is this. When reconciliation was used, a budget reconciliation bill was used, it was for policy. And that policy was the one big, beautiful bill. And there was lots of great things put into that bill. It was really a wish list of about 25, 30 years for Republicans, and everything was put into this bill. Well, if they want to try to shut down, because remember, the DHS spending bill to fund DHS passed in the House with the help of about 7 Democrats. So now Chucky Schumer is saying that they're going to cut DHS spending and they want to shut down the government over it. Well, I got news for you. Being that the one big beautiful bill was indeed policy, funding for the DHS and ICE is also policy. So why don't Republicans just say, we don't care what you think, Democrats in the Senate. We're going to do another budget reconciliation bill where you only need 51 votes, which would be, of course, with Vance being the tiebreaker. Pass the SAVE Act, pass election integrity, do everything else that we need to do now, and I don't know, maybe throw in $1 billion for DHS funding so that we can have every single state with ICE agents in it. I want them in Hawaii all the way to Alaska and everywhere in between. If we're gonna do this and get it out and get it over with, let's do it now, let's do it big. Because here's the bottom line. If we don't do this now and we lose power, because what's happening is the left is using these people as martyrs, right? To change the narrative, to make it seem like the Republicans are evil. Trump is evil because he's doing what he's doing. It's too aggressive. We don't like it. They run to their prostitutes in the media. They amplify everything that's happening. And these stupid Republicans, let's call them what they are, these stupid Republicans go, oh, gee, yeah, maybe this is a little bit too far. Too far? We haven't gone far enough, as far as I'm concerned.
Damn straight. I couldn't agree more. I honestly, I meant it when I said it. Again, I still say you should have shot them at the border as soon as they cross. But you know what? You're here illegally. You have a chance to self-deport. Paid for, you didn't take it. You have a chance to come peacefully. If you resist, I'm sorry. Well, habeas corpus, excuse me, you're an illegal in this country. So tell me how these rights apply to you. I don't think they do. And am I advocating for murder of everybody? You know what? No, but I'm advocating for justice. And I'm sick and tired of our law enforcement having to put their lives in the line to take out rapists, murderers, and these sick pricks. And we want to shed a tear for these poor white, and I am racist against white liberals. I'm owning it. I'm going to say it always. Racist against white liberals. Right there. Boom. Hang on. Let me do a solo layout for you. There it is.
Angry, white, fat
liberals. That's perfect.
There you go.
And that shirt needs to be made mass availability. Because honestly, I'm sorry. I don't care about you. And I don't shed a tear for any of these people. You get what you deserve and your puppets, and the public overall, the media is going so hard with this, and the softcore rhino pussy Republicans are going so far with this because they've lost the narrative game. It isn't the same as 2020. It isn't the same as 2016. So they want to sell you that the whole world is up in arms about what's happening. No, we're not. We love it. We want it to happen. And I say, you know what? We should take up the offers from some of the gang members, like the Bloods and Crips are talking about doing a truce and coming and protecting federal officers in Minneapolis. I think that is hilarious. Let them.
Yeah, be kind of an interesting thing to do, wouldn't it? But look, I think the bottom line here is that when you make an omelet, you have to break some eggs, right? So you're going to be cracking some skulls because you have to. There's 30 million illegal aliens that Democrats brought into this country, okay? So if you want to blame anyone for any of these deaths or any of these problems, yeah, it's the people themselves, obviously, but it's really Democrats. It's Democrat governors, Democrat politicians, Democrat voters, Democrat attorney generals that look the other way on crime and allow all these things to happen. So they're the ones that have blood on their hands. They're the ones that are responsible for anyone that ICE, because they have to defend themselves, ends up shooting and killing. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. And again, I'm like, we have to sit here and pretend, and we don't, but we have to sit here and be told that we have to have a heart. No, I have a heart for all the children that have been raped and murdered and beaten to death and killed by illegals, and not just Mexican, not just El Salvadorian, Chinese, Somalian,
14-year-old autistic girl was just raped and strangled to death. Where's the outrage and crying for her, right?
Yeah, but we don't have that, right? No. So as far as I'm concerned, we have MAGA Lions representing the chat room. As he said, we really have to understand they have a list of MAGA Lions. I love them. They're the first ones to endorse me in my Senate run. And they're amazing people. So everybody should check them out. But yes, it is an illegal regime. And the Congress needs to be purged. The Senate needs to be purged. It's too little, too late, but we have to try at the very least. And shout out to Danielle, State of Freedom podcast, also in there. And we love you. And, there's so much that needs to happen. But these politicians, and that's why Bessent is fantastic. I love this guy. And like he said, he's going after financial aspects of this. He is the one that they're most afraid of. They're not afraid of ICE. They're afraid of him because he's willing to go the extra distance. You cut off the money pipeline to the Democrats, to the rhinos, you have them. You have them forever. Done.
And remember, none of this has to do with immigration. It has to do with immigration for us. Yes, it does. Law-abiding citizens. But Democrats don't care about immigration. They don't care about these people. All they care about is their illegal voter base is being ripped out by the roots in all of these different states. And they know they can't win elections unless they cheat. And so we're now taking away their mechanism to steal elections because obviously no one's going to vote for their policies, right? I mean, you'd have to have a freaking hole in your head to do that. And so because of that, that's why they're upset. They don't give a shit about these illegal aliens. Do you think they care? Of course not. They care about them being here because they look at that when they kill people here, it's collateral damage. Yes. It's all part of an assessment. Well, we bring in all these millions of people. All right, so, maybe 150 to 200,000 Americans are going to be murdered, slaughtered, raped, and pillaged and stolen from and whatever. That's fine. Look at how long we can stay in power with all of these illegal aliens. That's what this is all about. Yes. And we are taking apart and dismantling their illegal voter base. And they don't really like that. And they don't want to try to change their ways and perhaps maybe come up with policies that would actually help the American people. No, why would they do that? They would rather do it the other way. And so what are they doing? They're bitching, complaining, they're moaning, they're going to the prostitute whores in the media, and they're basically, exploiting people that actually have good-natured abilities and hearts and minds like most Americans, and we're making them feel guilty. Oh, maybe my Trump vote wasn't the right vote. Yeah, maybe I'll give these Democrats a chance in November. I'm telling you, that's what's happening. Yep. We have to be able to recognize that, expose it, and then share it with as many people as possible. Because if they turn away from Trump and MAGA, you're going to vote yourselves directly into communism.
And that's what we've been saying, and that's what you've been saying for years, and that's what we've been saying, and it's true. And Aaron, love you, brother. He said right there, if you have the crack skulls, make sure they are Democrats. They're empty and expendable. You might even save some money in food stamps and housing. Exactly. You know what? Every time I see a dumb white liberal get killed, I think, well, you know what? Maybe not this last one that we know of, but the other one, definitely, there's some saving in tax dollars. And, it's amazing that, as we continue to purge illegals from this country, they could stroll in, hell, be given first class tickets to come to America. Now, remember, in Somalia, the majority of Somalians are actually Islamists, all right? Mm-hmm. And they subscribe to Sharia law. So if you don't abide by Sharia, you get fined, you get taxed, essentially. So the Somalis, yes, well, that's if they're being nice. So the Somalis don't care about any of the deaths in America. You don't see a Somali standing up for anybody being shot, defending them, right? No,
of course not.
These people are disgusting vermin scum. Let them stay in their shithole third world hellholes where they belong. Exactly. Because you know what? And it's not a racist.
Grab them out of the country by their tic-tac necks.
Yes.
That's what I say.
It is
first.
It is not racist to say that. It is factually accurate. Some people from all over the world can come to America if they want to be part of the American experiment, the American dream. They have love for this country upon arrival. And you know what? If they can't speak English, the citizenship requirements, there's a lot that goes into that, but basic knowledge of the English language and history and things of that nature, it's a long process. They go through because they want to become American citizens. Welcome to America. Yeah. No free food, no free housing, no free cars, no free anything. The other ones, the illegal scum that are brought here, they get everything they need without any questions asked. It's time to end. And I want to parlay this into one of my most favorite things, which I will talk about rather at length this Thursday night on PolitiShock at 9 p.m. Eastern. But that brings me to what I told you about and what some people, I noticed we have a little uptick on the at VOP USA Radio X account, the Dan Smeriglio one too, but I don't have a blue check mark anymore because why pay for suspension and shadow banning? But, a lot of people from Maine have been, recognizing and saying Dan Smeriglio writing his name for Senate. I am still a homeowner in Maine, yes. But someone told you last January when I announced my run for Senate in Maine about the corrupt cops, judges, lawyers, correction officers, border patrol up there. Hate to say it, different breed, all the way down to the school systems, to the little troglodyte bitch, disgusting troll governor who is either her or their troglodyte little bitch, Susan Collins, who are going to be the senator, right? It's all being exposed now. Things are happening. Maine is the heart of the deep state. They have more Somalians, I believe. I have to double check. I believe they have more Somalians in Maine than we have currently in Minneapolis and Minnesota as a whole.
No, I think the most amount is in Minneapolis. Second amount, I believe,
Columbus?
is in Ohio. Yeah, Columbus, Ohio.
And
I think the third amount might actually be Maine.
Okay, I see.
There's like 9,700 or something.
There's something Maine is number one with, so I get that confused. So thank you for that.
Child trafficking.
Yeah, so
fentanyl. I mean, I don't know. You take your pick.
Yeah, well, Maine leads everywhere else, and energy costs as well. So, and I think it's funny that you have that little disgusting demon governor, demanding that the president stop. Like, first off, who's going to listen to these creatures? Okay. Yeah. We don't care. But what's happening in Maine, what you're seeing exposed to the media, and when Democrats have a bad day, the joke has always been, as sad as it is, cue up the next school shooting. This time it's the white liberal being shot by big bad Gestapo federal agents. So you're going to see more. And what you're seeing about Maine, believe me, people, and we're going to go into this deep on Thursday, it's only the beginning. It's not to say, I told you so, I'm right. It's, I told you, I warned you, because it's so much worse than what you see. So what are your thoughts about just some of what you've seen with Maine?
Well, I mean, look, I think that you have a huge Somali population there, clearly. It's probably the third largest. And it's not just that. You also are very close to Canada. So you have the bleed over from the communists in Canada, let's face it. And so you also have child trafficking is way out of control in Maine and other places on the East Coast. And so maybe President Trump needs to send ICE into Maine and clear out that rat's nest next. You know what I mean? And the other thing that I was thinking about is we need a moratorium on all immigration, including legal immigration.
Yes.
And quite frankly, you know what we should do? We should do kind of like what the meritocracy is, where you should be based and judged on your merits, not just based on DEI and all that other garbage. How about we go to a cost versus value assessment for every single person that wants to come to the United States of America? Okay, fair enough. You want to come here? What are you worth? What is your family worth? What do you have in cash reserves? What do you have in the stock market? Do you have a job now? Are you going to come here with a job? What are your chances of being on welfare? I mean, seriously, if the people that are coming here are costing us more than they are giving us in value, why the hell would we allow them to come here? And President Trump is kind of doing something sort of like that with his gold cards,
Gold
right?
card, I was gonna say,
Yeah, it's similar to that. But we ought to do that for all of immigration. And again, let's charge people, $1 million or more, to come here, because we don't want people here that are not going to not only assimilate, because I've said this before, immigration without assimilation is an invasion. Plain and simple. Just look at Europe, right?
Yeah.
And so we want people to, if they're going to come here legally, they need to assimilate, number one, learn our language, number two, but more importantly, what are you going to do for America? How can you make this country better? How can you create more jobs? How can you create more opportunities if you want to come here? And I think that the cost versus value argument is what needs to be said next when it comes to immigration.
No, I think it's perfect. And that's as bare bones common sense as anything else. There's two things. What you just said, I thought that was fantastic because I spoke about that a long time ago. So I'm happy you brought that up and put that out there into the ethos, because that's what's needed. That is number one. All right. That is your baseline. Number two, to prevent from what we're seeing right now that was done deliberately, 287G needs to be enacted across all police departments, sheriff's departments around this entire country. They can't sue to stop it. It's in the Constitution, and it gives local law enforcement issues with officers constitutional protection to enforce and enact basically their ICE. They could arrest, detain illegals, and deport them to federal ICE agents. They're allowed to hold and detain just on the basis of them being illegal or no documentation. Oh, it sounds to this. It's in the Constitution. It's protected. Every lawsuit brought against 287G in the 17 places in America where it's been institutionalized in the last 35 years have failed. And that is the way, once we gut it all, the enema is done. Then we institute exactly what you just said. Then roll out 287G. I've fought for this since 2006. We got to pass in a couple places, a couple municipalities in Indiana, one in Arizona. This is the way to make sure it doesn't happen again. But we know it's by design. We know exactly what it is. But right now, the biggest and best thing we could do is stop all immigration to this country. Well, the American dream is for American citizens.
Exactly.
For those, yes, who migrate.
Now it's a nightmare because of these illegal aliens, and we've got to get rid of them. And like I said, I want to see a 20-year moratorium on no immigration at all coming into our country, just until we can get rid of the 45 to 55 million that are here illegally. This bullshit about, there was 11 million hiding in the shadows. Yeah, maybe in 1989.
Right.
Sure,
yeah.
Right. Then it went to
million.
like 22 million. Then it went to 32 million, then 42 million. And in my book, I literally say there's about 53 million. And that came out in October of 2024. So how many more are there now, right? And so I'm glad that President Trump is doing everything he can to try to get rid of these criminal aliens as fast as humanly possible. But I think we need to have another spending bill for DHS rather than cutting it. And let's give them a lot of money. I mean, I'm talking $1 billion, literally $1 billion. I'm sure taxpayers would love to spend $1 billion, regardless of what the national debt is and everything else. $1 billion for so many ICE agents to go to every single state simultaneously. Let's just get this over with and get it done by August, let's say, right? Just blanket the entire country with ICE agents in every single blue city in this country and just let them go to work, let them do their thing. And if people want to mess with them, and they're going to get shot and killed, sorry, It is what it is. We are cleaning up, and that's what we have to do.
No, it's 100% factually accurate. And again, we had under the pedophile in chief, the illegitimate auto pen guy, we had the Capitol Police. I love this. I brought this up. I was screaming about this on PolitiShock for years. The Capitol Police were opening departments in Florida, in New York. Why? We're the United States Capitol. The United States Capitol, it's in their name. Police department, right? Opening up actual precincts in
like
these
a Stasi.
Exactly. So now that's obviously stopped. Good, because as far as I'm concerned, the Capitol Police are disgusting. Not all of them, but a majority. I'll be that. And that goes to that scumbag that was in Congress, that Fazone, whatever his name is, that Mr. Neck Tattoo, the
Fanoni.
Yeah, the hero of J6. Again, I was there on J6, and proud J6er, but it's disgusting. So I like that stopped, but replace that with federal law enforcement that actually serves a purpose. ICE, Border Patrol, Customs, all that, spread it nationwide. It's literally in its charter to do so. And that's what people miss. It is when Homeland Security was created. After 9/11, the Patriot Act and everything else, we could spy on your calls, blah, blah, blah. Regardless.
Well, let me tell the folks that are watching that have these idiots in their families or their friends that say January 6th was an insurrection, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Well, here, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why it's absolutely not true, and it's very easy to explain to people. Number 1, how many people, quote, insurrectionists, including the president, how many of them were charged with USC 2383, which is what? Insurrection. Anybody want to guess? Close your eyes. What do you see? Exactly. 0. Why? Because even the jackboot scumbags like Jackoff Smith knew that he couldn't hit the threshold of what they did as, quote, an insurrection. Number 1, you have to be armed when you're coming in. So that's number 1. Number 2, how do the doors at the Capitol open? They open from the inside, not the outside, for security reasons. So what does that mean? It means that it was a entrapment, a Fedsurrection. They opened the doors and they let those people in to entrap them. Argument over, okay? It's just literally that simple. And so I always say this, and I'll say it right now. November 3rd, 2020 was the insurrection. January 6th, 2021 was the Fedsurrection and cover-up. And Manoni or Panoni or whatever the hell his name is can shove it up his ass.
Damn straight. And it's so funny because I remember being there that day when people came over and yelled to us, come on, we're taking the building, get your guns. We all yelled like, plant. We all knew who they were. We'd seen it happen in real time. No, I got to the top of the stairs and everything else. I didn't go in because I knew better, because God forbid the people go inside the people's house. Oh, can't have that unless you're BLM. That gives you, carte blanche.
And I've said this before. Out of all those people that they arrested, if they really wanted to, they could have just given them a $500 trespassing ticket and let them be on their merry way. But it was never about that. It was more of, how dare you challenge the might of the federal government? How dare you try to redress your government because you're not happy with them stealing an election from you? How dare you? We're going to put you in jail for 15, 20 years. We're going to make up some bullshit charges like parading and everything else, and obstructing a judicial proceeding or whatever it was. None of that happened. None of it happened. And so again, the reason that they did this, it was the backup plan. They realized that we had more state legislatures than Democrats, right? It was by a 4 or 5 state legislature margin. And when it goes to the House of Representatives, they all get 1 vote. California gets 1 vote. Utah gets 1 vote. Arizona, whoever it is. And they add them up. How many more Republicans and Democrats is about a 4 or 5, vote lead. And so it would have came out of the House of Representatives, and they would have given the presidency, as it was earned rightfully, to President Trump. And they said, no, we can't allow the House of Representatives to actually go and do their constitutional duty in these types of situations. So instead, we're going to entrap them all, and then we'll throw them all in jail. Yep. Give me a break.
Yep. It's a bunch of clear-cut bullshit. And then, of course, again, the military being deployed at the Capitol with orders to shoot American citizens, which not enough people talk about when the invisible inauguration happened.
Yeah.
there's a lot to be said and addressed about that
behind
one as well.
behind fences. If you didn't
Yes.
steal your power, why the hell were you sitting out there freezing your nuts off behind a fence?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. It's such a load of crap, and there's so much to dig into on that one. So anyway, let's you want to go to Davos?
Yeah, I mean, it was Trump's Davos. I mean, let's
Yes.
face it. It really was an incredible thing. I love the fact, and I said this before, that it doesn't matter whether it's an RNC acceptance speech, whether it's a Trump rally somewhere in Pennsylvania or Ohio, or whether it's a speech in front of world leaders at the United Nations or Davos. He's going to give you a campaign speech. He is always campaigning. And I love that about this man.
Yes.
Seriously, I do. And it's amazing. He goes to Davos and he comes back with Greenland. Let's
Yes.
face it, right? Because Greenland is basically a done deal. They've
Yeah.
agreed on the fact that we are going to be able to secure Greenland. Thankfully, we're not going to, quote, own it and take it, because I wouldn't want us to have, another senator, another, House member and all this and stuff. I don't want that. You stay in Greenland. We'll just secure the airspace and build military bases. And that's basically what we got. And of course, we had, the mineral and rare earth rights as well. Now, look, I've done a lot of research on this. There's a lot of great stuff under there. There's diamonds, there's gold, there's tungsten, there's graphite. I mean, everything that we need for MRI machines to weaponry to tanks to missiles. I mean, it's all under there. The problem is it's miles and miles and miles down underneath this ice, right? It's one of the most rare earth mineral rich areas in the entire world. So I thought about it, and everyone's saying that, oh, it's easier to mine on the moon and it's easier to find rare earth somewhere else. And I thought to myself, well, wait a minute. If 80% of Greenland is under ice and only 20% is not, and the majority of the 57,000 people live in Nuuk, N-U-U-K, which is their capital city, and there's a few sparse, around Nuuk, and that's it. Nobody lives in those frozen tundra areas. How did we just take out the nuclear facilities at Fordow in Iran? I think we dropped a GBU 457 bunker buster bomb that, I don't know, can go probably 300 miles down. Why don't we just drop a couple of bunker busters eventually? Not now. Once you get in there, build the military bases, get everything going. But if we want to get to the rare earth minerals, let's drop some bunker busters on the ice, break it all up, and go there and go through and get all the mineral rights. But again, be nice and be fair. Give it to the people of Greenland as well. Let's build them up. Let's make them more wealthier too. It's not all about us just, raiding everything. We don't want to do that. Same thing with the oil in Venezuela. Same thing with the oil in Iran. Once hopefully that regime falls, we want to make sure that the people are given their ability to get a better life and have more riches and all that. We want to share this. I mean, they need us to get it, but we want to share it as well. And we'll take our fair share, and that's fine.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on. And I love what he did in Davos. It's essentially the end of the globalist Great Reset era. And I think that's beautiful to see. It's dead. And yeah, you know what? Just like when Trump did the address to the nation at 9 p.m. that one night, and he had all the primetime networks and he basically just read his accomplishments and everything else. People are like, how dare he? I think it's fantastic. It's about time we have a president not seen since the last President Trump administration, that we have a cheerleader for this country. And like I've always said, let his ego work to our advantage. I like when he does this. I like when he promotes the strength and the might of us. I think it's fantastic. Weakness is dead in this country, and we have somebody strong up top, and that's exactly what we need. So I think it was beautiful to see. I think that, kudos and shout outs, obviously, to Bessent yet again. Rubio, which again, just a few years ago, me saying any kudos, right?
Like, even when they announced him, they were like, well, they're thinking of Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. I was like, what? He's a rhino. Why would we want him? He's turned out to be the greatest Secretary of State ever in this country's history. Ever. And it's only been a little over a year. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Two things that need to happen. We need to take out the Iranian regime. Yes. I've been talking about for the last couple of days that the numbers that are coming out of Iran are not accurate. And they're saying that only 3,000 protesters were killed. That's maybe in an hour. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, not at all. We had Iranian doctors about 10 days ago say that they were killing people on gurneys in the hospitals. These are Iranian doctors, and they said then that the death toll was 16,511. Now after that, we now know that they have killed more and more people. And I said probably 3 or 4 days ago on my own show, I bet you it's 21, 22, 23, 24,000. Well, we've now heard that there is reports coming out that sadly it is 36,500 people have lost their lives because we didn't act. We said the cavalry is coming and it didn't come. Now, in defense of President Trump, there is a huge armada that has been built up in and around Iran. And I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe they're waiting for intelligence to catch up. Maybe they're waiting for certain, missile defense systems in the area to be able to knock out their ability to fight back. I'm not sure what it is. All I know is there's some type of action that should be coming here pretty soon. And they better do it quick, because you notice you're not hearing much from the protesters. You know why? Because they're all dead,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And like I said last week, I still firmly believe it's coming. But again, this is, no matter how strong we are, and I still do not believe that we will have to submit ground troops, maybe potentially.
I don't think we will either.
No, I really don't see that unless you're securing their capital, if you will, after the fact. And even that,
they don't have any capital. The real has it completely collapsed. See, that's the thing. The regime is a dead regime walking, because the real, their money, completely collapsed. And you can thank President Trump for doing that. Basically telling any country out there, hey, if you continue to buy goods and from Iran and oil and everything else, we're going to strap a huge tariff on you. And all these countries said, sorry, Iran, we're not playing around. And so what happened from that point? Pretty simple. Their currency crashed. It's worth like $140 million under the dollar. Like, it's something just absolutely insane. So what does that mean? You can't pay your IRGC, your Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. You can't pay another country for trying to rescue you because your currency is not worth anything. So you're literally a sitting duck. And the sad reality is that the people can't use their own money to buy goods and services because it's not worth anything. And that's where this becomes a major humanitarian issue, because we don't want these people to suffer. We don't want these people to starve to death. But yet, in some respects, they kind of have to, until it gets to the point, like we're doing in Cuba, that we can get regime change. And so sadly, some people are being sacrificed for the ability to change the regime.
Yes, sorry about that. The Snowmageddon caught up to me. But nevertheless, I think this will be a situation where you could anticipate, you could expect that we will have anti-aircraft fire, and it's going to look a little bit different. I say it might take us 5 hours to wipe out Iran versus, the 30 minutes to 3 hours with Venezuela. So, it's going to look different. But again, it has to be that precision of literally, as you said, taking out that armada, taking out their cells in other countries. I mean, we have a good thing going in Syria, I think. Needless to say, the leader of Syria now, whatever
Former ISIS member.
Yeah, exactly. He's learned play along or else, and he's allowed us to do what we need to do in regards to taking out ISIS and everything else there. So it's going to be an interesting strike. It'll be simultaneous. It'll be enormous. And I believe it's going to happen, and it's going to happen when obviously nobody's going to expect it or see it coming. So I look forward to the day, and I want that regime to fall more than any other in the world, probably.
Absolutely.
Because
no question about it. And look, we have some other hot spots that are going to be problematic here pretty soon. Number one, I hate to say it, but South Korea.
Yeah.
South Korea is now CCP run, basically, from the last election. I mean, hell, they're taking their last president and putting him in jail for 27 years because he did a state of emergency or something like that, something ridiculous. So we're going to have problems in South Korea for sure. The other thing is, believe it or not, Haiti. Haiti is now being run by basically a drug kingpin. And the government there is obviously working with them because there was a security summit that was called at Mar-a-Lago last week, and a lot of people showed up for it. Haiti's representatives and their president did not. So what does that tell you? That tells you that around February 7th or so, when their edict to rule runs out, you're going to have some problems in Haiti. And Haiti, like I said, is being run by a gangster warlord, basically.
Haiti's a shithole. All right.
It is a shithole. There's no question about it. We should put the Clintons there.
Yes.
That's what we should do.
Well, they love the Haitians so much, right? Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Send them there, then bomb it straight to hell.
Exactly.
Honestly, and
strap them to the bomb.
Yes. Well, preferably, yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting with the world. And I do love remember that video a couple weeks back or a couple months back when they had the meeting with Carney and Trump, and he said something and he said in the hot mic that at least I didn't refer to you as governor. So now you know
Governor Carney.
When Trump put it out yesterday to Governor Carney, and when he let it be known that there is no way in hell that China will take over Canada.
Those golden knee pads, by the way, I think Gavin knee pads Newsom, he ought to let Carney borrow them because he's going to be unzipping Xi Jinping and servicing him.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Winnie the Pooh is going to get it. I mean, like I said, we could take Canada in a matter of, minutes as far as I'm concerned, but more and more Canadians like you, who the hell wants them? You know what? Alberta, whatever, they're the conservative bloc. There's a lot more conservative bloc. Even the part of Canada that I live by, like I said, every time I cross the border, a lot of immigrants, and they all were hailing Trump. They all want to know when they're going to become a 51st state. Like, it's not as widespread, even in the French-speaking areas, as you would think of all them being socialists, whatever. So again, it's a smaller block than people know. But Canada has nothing of value. Let's face it. I mean, other than strategic positioning, and really, we don't need them for anything else. We do not need their energy. Okay, that is something else that needs to be expelled. We do not require their energy. We do not.
Right. No, we don't. And the other thing is like, why would they be against the Golden Dome being built in Greenland, which is also going to protect Canada and the United States? I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. But you know what President Trump should do? And it would be an interesting PR move, but he should go to Greenland and he should give not even an hour, but a 25, 30-minute speech in Greenland in front of the 57,000 people that are there and just say, look, I'm not a tyrant. This is what I want to do. I want to help you. I want to protect you, and I want to make Greenland great, and I want to make you more wealthier. I'm willing to help you out financially. But here's why America now has to come and build military bases in your country, and just explain it to them. And you know what? You would win over so many more of them, and it would make the whole entire takeover, if you will, at least militarily speaking, a lot easier. Not like they're going to be able to do anything. I mean, they can't do anything anyway. And you sound like Ewoks. It's not going to do anything.
Well, better than Somali.
Like
or whatever the hell.
Actually, a lot of them do speak English.
I know. And the majority of people you see in Greenland that are being interviewed by people on the ground, they're actually supporters of Trump. Again, they ship in the protesters. It's disgusting. I mean, it's the protest industrial complex now we have going on. It's quite sickening. So, and South Korea, I think this is the time where China was allegedly mad with Kim Jong-un for quite some time. Now might be the time to pull off a major wild card and
another extraction mission.
There you go. Or, let's get ourselves a deal with frickin' North Korea. South Korea surprised me, but it didn't surprise me. It's the same thing. Basically, they Braziled South Korea. It's not.
They did that. You're absolutely right, right? Because you have that little what's that pipsqueak Lulu, whatever, right? Obviously, Bolsonaro clearly won that election. There's no question about it. And then, of course, they rigged it like they did with Maduro, right? Of course, and they did the same thing over there. But North Korea, you got to understand something. North Korea practices what's known as juche. And juche is basically like a Stalinist, Leninist type of ideology, but it's based around a like a mythical figure. And the mythical figure was first Kim Il Sung, which was the founder of the country, then his kid, which was Kim Jong Il, and then of course now Kim Jong Un. Right? It's a family type of thing. But what they do is they make them into these mythical creatures. Like they say that he had 8 hole-in-ones in one game of golf. He doesn't shit, normally or something. Like his shit doesn't stay. Like all these weird things that they say and do. But they brainwash the people, and they've been brainwashing these people for, I don't know, 50, 60 years. Because remember, when the war, the Korean War ended, it never was a declaration to end the war. It was an armistice agreement in 1953. And so what does that mean? That means that they were able to teach generation after generation after generation that Americans are hiding under their bed in rice paddies, and they're going to jump out in the middle of the night and slit your throats, right? So you have to hate the Americans. And then, of course, they brainwash the people to think that the president is like a god. Right. And so if you don't say things like, the great leader says it's a beautiful day today, they'll shoot you and kill you right there in the street. So everything they do, if they're eating something, it's because the great leader gave me this rice. Like, it's really sick and twisted. So one thing we should do is tell them, look, we're not at war with you. Let's sign a declaration to end the war officially, so that we can get rid of some of this hostility, and just let them know, if you continue to build nuclear weapons, we're going to wipe you out. And the thing is that even though they have nukes, they don't have the capability to launch them. Every single time they try to do something, it's like, it's like a limp dick in the sea right in front of them. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't go anywhere. And the same thing with Iran. They're saying, oh, you'll feel the might of the Iranian military. Get out of here.
Right,
They're not a threat. If they were a threat, they would have done something, when we took them out in 12 days. No, they had to save face by shooting off a few missiles in the middle of nowhere. Pat yourself on the back. Give me a break, right?
It's a joke.
That's the issue. You could do an extraction mission and use those same weapons that they used to get Maduro, and you could take out Kim Jong-un doing the exact same thing.
Absolutely. And he might even like it. But it's so interesting, man. And I did like the I don't know if this is verified or not, but did Putin really offer $1 billion to the peace?
I heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Let's talk about this board of peace, right?
Yeah.
I get what he's doing. He wants to replace the United Nations, which is an anti-American organization that should have been banished and, gotten rid of years ago, right?
Yeah.
But let's look at his board of, quote, peace. Number one, you have Russia and Vladimir Putin. But more than that, you have 8 Muslim countries that, quite frankly, don't really have the greatest records when it comes to human rights campaigns, human rights abuses. And let's not forget, many of these countries are involved with terrorism, or in the past have actually had jihadist organizations and groups working within their governments and in their countries. So how do you have a board of peace with 8 Muslim countries that actually are close to jihadists and things like that? I don't understand this board of peace. I just don't. And that's why Israel's so pissed.
It's an interesting.
They can see it.
It's an interesting play that Trump's done there. And then you have Russia, and Russia, people can say what they want. It's a Christian nation. You have some problems there with in the church, if you will, and the oligarchs and all that good stuff. But it's an interesting play that he's done there. So it's entertaining to see how many things he's doing simultaneously that we don't even know about. It's amazing. And again, I'm not going to have time to go and pull up the videos and show. So we'll save this for next week, or maybe Replay can attach one. The Penguins. The Penguins. The videos coming out today from the White House, from Trump, from Bessent, from, oh my God, Monica Crowley, to everybody sharing all these all these images of the penguin marching towards a said industrial area in what looks like Antarctica with an American flag and Trump marching alongside. There's something big happening, okay? There's something very big going on, and I would love to tear into it, but we don't have time.
Yeah.
But I promise you, it's going to be a very interesting week.
Oh yeah.
There's so much is going to happen before the State of the Union. So much is going to happen. And again,
when is he doing that? February something?
21st or 3rd, something like that. Yeah.
Right. We'll both be older.
I know. I go first, so I got you.
You go first. I go second.
That's right. So we'll do a.
I've had a couple people ask me why did we name it the Rage of Aquarius? Well, because the Aquarius is the most rebellious sign, and we're both raging because we're both rebellious, and we're both Aquarius, and you're the end of January, I'm the beginning of February, so it just kind of fit, just kind of worked.
It's the perfect storm. So
it is.
Yeah, so next Saturday I'll officially be 43. So next Sunday 43? We can do 43.
Oh God, you're so young. I'll be 51.
Yeah, well, see, that's not bad. 51. But again, sometimes at 43 though, I could feel like I'm 65 around certain people. Like you just wonder what the hell's wrong with you, you know?
Right.
Next Sunday we could do a birthday celebration. There you go. Belated and early. So
fair enough.
It works out good. So any closing thoughts as we try to keep on time with this? We're doing pretty good.
I would say this, that Republicans and conservatives and MAGA supporters, they need to understand that we can't allow these Democrats to win these midterms because they have all said the same exact thing. When we get back our power, we will not only impeach and investigate, but we will prosecute. They have said they will prosecute ICE agents. Imagine that. The people that are there to protect and serve the people and make sure that neighborhoods do not have drug dealers and child traffickers and murderers and rapists, they want to put them in jail. This is why we've got to wake up our base and let them know you can't sit this out. You've got to make sure that you are civically active and engaged. Because like I said before, if we're sitting back, these people are going to do everything. They want their power back. They are willing to kill for it. They're willing to do anything for it. And so we've got to get the Congress to get off their ass and pass the SAVE Act. At this point, that has got to be the number one thing. We need one more reconciliation bill before the midterms to really kind of put the squash on election fraud. And that's the best way to do it. So
couldn't agree more. So remind people where they could find you and follow you.
Please go to jbushow.substack.com, jbushow.substack.com. I do a show 7 days a week. I never take a day off because the left never takes a day off from trying to destroy the country. So I feel like I can't take a day off from trying to help defend it. So go to Substack, jbushow.substack.com. If you join, it's only $49 for the entire year. You also get a free copy of my book, Preserving Liberty, Bold and Brave Solutions to Save America and Create Permanent Freedom, endorsed by Roger Stone, and Congressman Paul Gosar from the Freedom Caucus wrote the foreword to it. Even Alan Dershowitz endorsed it because of its constitutionality. It's not self-published. It's an actual published book. You'll get a digital copy, which is about a $13 value as well. And like I said, I do sometimes 3 segments a day, sometimes 1, but at least 2 to 3, usually every day. Every Thursday night, Dan joins. We do a Full Throttle Thursday where you get to ask me anything you want and participate in about an hour-long discussion on the news of the day. And I always say the only thing missing from the offer is the ski mask, the gun, and the getaway car. jbushow.substack.com.
Perfect. As always, good time, fun. We kept it in time. So I appreciate that. And thank you for joining. So everybody, again, if you're watching on the app for the first time, we have a lot of people watching live right now. Thank you. And make sure to go to VOPUSARadio.com, VOPUSARadio.com. You're going to see a lot of stuff there. You're going to start to understand it all a lot more very, very soon. We're going to talk about it this Thursday night at 9 p.m. live on Politishock right here. And again, on the Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android TV. You can find us. Type in VOP USA or just VOP. you will find us. We are there. We are live right now. So check it out, everybody. And to our audio audience, as always, migrate over, people. Migrate over. Everybody on the socials, same thing. Get to the website, get the apps, see the content we have up, see the content that we do live, and all the content we have forthcoming, whether it's the State of Freedom, for the love of freedom. There's so much. All right. And there's a lot more coming. So be prepared. Everybody, with that, thank you. Stay safe out there. God bless. And we will see you all again next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So enjoy this quick little commercial and then the outro. And that's it. Thank you for joining. And God bless.
Nation's pride, red, white,
Rage of Aquarius with your hosts, Dan Smeriglio and Josh Bernstein, every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Voice of the People USA Radio and Television Network. Download our apps on Android and Apple to never miss a show. Watch at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Roku TV, Fire TV, and Android TV, or visit VOPUSARadio.com.